Here's a simple explanation. Adverse possession is when you use land someone else owns so much and for so long that you become the owner. The idea is that it's in the best interest of society that land be put to best and maximum use rather than merely lying waste and neglected. Here's how it works. The amount of time it takes someone to assume a true owner's property by adverse possession is called the statute of limitation. Depending on the jurisdiction, it may be 10, 15, or 20 years. When or if that 10, 15, or 20-year mark is reached, we say that the statute of limitation has tolled. Just an old school word for expired. That's the statutory period. There are 5 elements that need to be satisfied within the statutory time limit in order for adverse possession to be satisfied. Hostile is the first of the 5 elements. Hostile doesn't mean that you have to be mean or violent or have a pistol in your hand. It just means that you're using the property without the owner's permission or consent. The next element is open and notorious. Open and notorious sounds like an FBI wanted suspect, but it simply means that for the entire statutory period, you can't use the property secretly. Just like the true owner would use the land openly, so should the adverse possessor. Courts require this because if after 15 or 20 years of someone else openly using your property without the true owner noticing or caring enough to even object, then maybe it's best for society that the adverse possessor own the property instead. Actual. Actual is the next element. All it means is that you have to actually enter, use, and physically occupy the land for the entire period. Sometimes professors will call it actual entry. Then there is the continuous element. The actual and continuous elements relate to one another. On one hand, you have to occupy the land without a break and continuously for the statutory time limit or the statutory period. But that doesn't mean you can never leave the land. It just means that for whatever the period of time required under the statute, you must use the land similarly to how the original or true owner would have used the property. It could be a summer house, or maybe the land is only farmed during certain seasons, so long as the land is used as the true owner would for the entire statutory period, then the continuous requirement is satisfied. The final element is that your use of the land must be exclusive. Exclusive simply means that you can't share the land with the true owner. Tacking is when the statutory period is, let's say, 20 years. Well, for 5 years, your friend occupied the true owner's land hostilely, open and notoriously, actually, continuously, and exclusively. After 5 years, your friend sold the land to you. Since your friend doesn't really own or have real title to the land, we call that type of purchase the sale of the color of title. Not the real title, but the color of title looks like it. Now let's say that for the 15 years remaining, you use the owner's land hostilely, open and notoriously, actually, continuously, and exclusively. Under the taking rule, your 15 years and your friend's 5 years will be added together to meet the statutory requirement of 20 years. That's called tacking.